welcome back to the garden at home. I'm in the greenhouse today and I'm looking at the garden outside and I'm seeing a few things that I'd like to do today. Now, normally I wouldn't tidy the garden up as early as this, but I really want to get a head start on creating that cottage garden that we spoke about last time. I've been doing some planning, I've been doing some buying, and I've been doing some digging up, and I'm going to show you what we're getting on with today. The first thing I want to do is move a Salvia Amistad. Now, last year it was amazing, but it was too big for the space that it was in, and one of you guys said that it can get really big, so I thought I would put it in a better position, and I'm going to put it in the corner out of the way. But at the moment there are some other plants and some weeds there that need to be moved, so in order for me to do that we're going to need to go and do a bit of tidying up, so let's go do that now. Right, so I've put my Tracheospermum jasminoides in. That's that there. It's the star jasmine, and that's a very vigorous climber, so that's going to grow along here. We will be putting some trellis in and some things to support it. Just struggling to decide what to do. So this clump here, that one, is a hardy geranium. It's called Summer Skies, and it's very lovely. It's quite a tall one, so I'm thinking of moving that into this corner here, because it's really nice and it's quite an impact, but it doesn't flower for very long, so I think if I put it there it would look quite nice. I'm also thinking though, if I put a geranium roseanne there, that's going to flower for a long time, isn't it? Do you know what, that's what I'm going to do. Geranium roseanne's going in there. Sunny skies or summer skies will go in a pot actually for now, and then the front garden. That's decided. Let's do that now. So this very uninspiring looking plant is a lovely plant called geranium roseanne. Now I don't have this, many of you will have this because it's a very popular geranium because of a long flowering period. I have two geraniums that are very similar to this but are actually not this, and the reason I know they're not this is that this became available on the UK market, in fact I think the worldwide market, in the year 2000. And the geraniums that I've got are divisions of divisions of divisions. They originated, as far as we're aware, in my grandma's garden. Obviously they didn't come from there, but that's where my mum got them. She divided them. She used to do my grandma's gardening, so she divided them and took them to our house when I was a little girl, so 30 to 40 years ago. Took them there, and then years later when she moved again, my mum took them out of that garden and took them to the house she lives in now, which is the house my grandma used to live in. And she then divided them for me when I moved here, and they've been in the garden here ever since, and they're lovely, but they flower once and then they don't come back. The bees absolutely love them, so if we've got a similar variety here that flowers like that but for longer, then I'm very excited about it. Now I got two of these. This one looks like it looks dead, but it isn't. There is a shoot coming up there, And I've actually, because these came and I was happy with how they came, this is exactly what you should expect them to look like at this time of year. I was really happy and I've ordered 2 more. So I've got enough to put some in the back garden and some in the front garden. So that's what I'm going to put on the corner here. Because my garden's small, I've been thinking doing a lot of research into long flowering perennials, because I'll have my annuals which are long flowering anyway, but I want long flowering perennials. So that's what we've got, and I've got some others to show you as well, which we'll put this in the ground and then I'll show you the other ones. We've had a little influx of new subscribers recently, so thank you so much if you are new here. If you're not subscribed, it really does help if you would hit that little button and come back again in future. As always, you know, interacting with the video helps me loads, because YouTube's algorithm then shows my videos to other people who maybe have never seen us before. So it really does help if you say hi in the comments. Tell me a little bit something about your garden. What are you looking forward to, and what's the weather been like where you are? I'd love to know. And yeah, give us a little thumbs up, that always helps loads as well. Yeah, it's all helpful. So I've just discovered lots of little seedlings here. I've just done some weeding, well, pulled out the old dead annual lobelias, and yeah, found lots of seedlings here, and I'm not sure what they are. So I'm going to leave them, because here we had cosmos, and I had calendula, but I know that's not calendula. We had antirrhinums, and we had the lobelia. Now, I have got so many antirrhinum seedlings in the front garden, so maybe they'll be those. I don't know, they look maybe a little bit big, but I'm going to let them grow for a little bit, get their true leaves, and then I'll be able to identify them hopefully, and then I'll decide what to do with them. But for now, I'm going to leave them here. Right, so I'm just taking a breather now. I've got to tell you, the weather the last 2 days has been glorious, and if you are in the UK or Ireland and you have had that constant grey skies, you will be loving the weather lately like I am. I'm actually quite warm. I came out in a hoodie, I've got a jumper, I've got a t-shirt on, and now I'm absolutely boiling. I am sat in a greenhouse though as well, and the sun is out. So I've got my hardy geranium summer skies that I've just taken out, chucked it in this pot. I am going to plant that in a pot, because as I mentioned last time, I want to make a container cottage garden for my patio, and I'm going to dot it about a bit. I don't want to go too big with it, because Mark isn't keen for me to take up too much patio space, because we do want the kids to have a bit of room to play, and it's not the biggest space. So he doesn't know what's in my head. He won't be impressed. He won't be impressed. But I'm going to put this in a pot, and I've also got some other things. So I've got some things from last year. So I've got these salvias. Now I'm not entirely sure which one this one is, but this one is Kisses and Wishes. And I've got 3 of these types. They're like the Amistad, but smaller varieties and more pinks and purples. So they look really nice. They are going to go in the ground in the front garden somewhere, probably the front garden, but I'm not sure where yet. And then I've got this Dianthus Cahori, and I planted a few of these last year and never planted this one out. I gave it a little bit of a deadhead trim the other day. Not done a very good job of it. Let me just tidy it up a little bit. I think I'm going to put this in a pot as well. And I've got Lacanthamum. I love a Shasta daisy. Regular viewers will know from last year I absolutely love. Oh, little snails living at the bottom here. I have noticed actually some of the Shasta daisies that are coming through in the border, some are fine and some are getting eaten, and my asters are getting eaten as well, which is really annoying me, because last year they didn't do so well because they got eaten so much early on in the season. We've had so much rain lately that obviously slugs and snails are going to be absolutely loving life. So this one is Snow Lady. Now this one looks like it's a big one. It gets to 100 centimetres by 45 centimetres, so that's quite big. So I think that probably will want to go in the front garden where it's got a little bit more room. And I had a Shasta daisy, also known as Lacanthamum, that my mum planted when we first moved in here 8 years ago, and it was there last year, but it limped along. It wasn't very it's been getting smaller and smaller, so I would like to replace that because I love Shasta daisies. I've noticed actually it's the one that I really liked last year. I think it's banana cream or something like that. It's a yellow one, a very pale yellow one, and it's that one that's getting eaten, and I'm a bit miffed at that. Very miffed. And then we've got all the ones that I got and I showed you last time, the Salmon Salvia Dance and the Schneehugel, and a couple of a terracotta achillea and a cloth of gold achillea. But I actually got some other plants this week as bare roots. They actually came with, I ordered a tree for a friend, and this is what came with it, and this is Aegeum, and I've got 3 of these. They don't look much, I know, but this is totally tangerine. Now I've been looking at plants that will flower for a long time, which is why I've got the hardy geranium Roseanne, and this is another one. So I already have Geum Coral Tempest. I have 2 of them. They are sterile varieties of Geum, as is Totally Tangerine, as is Scarlet Tempest. So I need to find a couple of those as well. So these will flower from spring, late spring, probably mid to late spring, all the way up to September, October, first frosts. So I got these as bare root plants. I know that my local garden centre does sell these. I've seen them before, in a bit later on in the season. So I will probably invest in a couple of bigger ones as well. But for now, we've got 3 of the bare root small ones. So one of those is going to go in a pot. I may divide my Coral Tempest, but it's not looking that great. So I think I will wait a couple of weeks before I divide one of them. I'm going to divide 2. So I've got 2. One flowers early every year, one flowers a bit later. Now the one that flowers early finishes early as well. So I think I'm going to divide the one that starts later off and just leave the one that flowers early, because that one's been sort of in bud since January, early January. It's not really flowering. The flowers are opening and they're just not much, you know. Sorry, a bee was just about to fly at me. Nice to see you, but no dive bombing, please. So that one is kind of limping a little bit, but that's what you get when you start flowering in January when you're a Geum. I also have bought a perennial plug plant collection from Sutton's, and I've had this before, but I've bought it from Thompson & Morgan, but they're the same company. And I've had that plug plant collection before, and it's done really well. And it's got Shasta daisies and delphiniums, foxgloves. Although foxgloves are not perennials, so it bugs me that they put them in the perennial collection, but they're there. We've got lobelia, the perennial type, short-lived perennial. We've we've got Achillea, Cerise Queen, which is a lovely deep pink Achillea, and yeah, Shasta Daisies, Salvias, and it's got another geum called Mrs. J. Bradshaw. It's not as long flowering as these ones I've just mentioned, but it is still a really good one, as is Lady Stratheden, which I have in the front garden. Actually, one of my Lady Strathedens I love because some of the flowers are properly scarlet red and the rest are the kind of soft but bright yellow that Lady Stratheden is. So something's going on there, but I absolutely love that it's a bit of a mix. I also have a lot of little geums. I have like variety koi, and I have some pink petticoats and things. They're dotted about. They're a bit shorter flowering, but if you do deadhead them, you might be able to prolong them a little bit. And a bit later in the season, I'll show you, if you want to know, how to deadhead a geum. In fact, probably won't be long because that one over there is going to need deadheading soon. So this is my little cottage garden patio area, the main area, and I've already got some things here that will be going in here. I've got a couple of California lilacs there, Ceanothus. They are not probably going to be staying there in pots. One of them might do, but it won't be the pots that they're currently just sat in. So let's go and have a look and see what we've got growing here. So firstly, we've got this rose. This is Bring Me Sunshine. It's a David Austin rose. It's the one we planted in memory of Mark's grandma, who passed away a couple of years ago. What I've done is I've just mulched it with compost at the moment, but I am going to mulch all the roses with some well-rotted manure soon. I was going to do that today, but I haven't got round to it. But I might do it this afternoon, maybe. And then these little roses here, these are miniature roses that my brother sent me, kind of like one of those moon pig things. They were all in one pot, and when they came, they were beautiful little deep pink roses, but there's actually 4 in a pot. So I have split them, divided them, and given them their own pot with some new compost, and I'm going to see how they're going to do. They're obviously all still very alive. They're very green. They've got little buds coming on them, little flower leaf buds. So yeah, that's looking really good. This is a syringa. So this is a lilac. It's a patio lilac. That's obviously new to me. I haven't planted that up yet, but that is going to go in a pot, but it's going to need a bigger pot than that. So yeah, this one, this rose needs a support really. This is a patio climber of open arms. Now there is an open arms that is a very large rambling rose, but this isn't. This is a patio climber. Very similar flowers, really beautiful rose. Looked really lovely last year, and it's obviously quite recently started growing some new leaves, quite early actually, because the wind in this back garden is so fierce and so cold. I'm quite surprised that things are coming a little bit early. There's the 2 Ceanothus that I showed you last time, and then there's my Acer. Now I can't remember the variety of this. I'll have to look back over my old videos. It's got beautiful coloured stems. It has taken a battering with the wind. It defoliated earlier than expected, but Acers do that in this garden because of the cold wind. So this may be moved into the front garden because it's a little bit more sheltered there. Same goes for the one in that large pot there. That is an Acer, and that defoliates early as well. And then, oh, if I just get up, excuse my old knees. We've got this jasmine here, still in its nursery pot. We've talked about this before. It's Jasminium Stephanies. And then this here is new to me. This is a hydrangea, Paniculata Vanille Frey. And that is going to stay in a pot for a couple of years. And it's an absolutely beautiful hydrangea. I got these from Yew Garden. I've never shopped there before. And obviously this is not sponsored. I bought them with my own money. I'm not working with them, anything like that. But I was quite impressed with the plants that I got. I got this. I got the lilac. I got the Jasminium this one, Jasminium Stephanies, the Tracheospermum jasminoides from there, and I got the 2 hardy geraniums, the one of which I've just put there, and you can't see anymore. And they've been really good, so I have ordered some more. I've ordered some more hydrangeas, but they're just 9cm pots this time. So they will take some growing, but they'll be going in pots here as well. This is a shrub that was my late grandma's. It's always in this pot. It loses its leaves every year. It is an evergreen, but I think it's just too cold here. But, you know, as usual, it's got its leaf buds coming back again. And over this side, I've got my Rosa, which is supposed to be Compassion, but it really isn't. But I don't know what it is. It's very similar to a James Galway, So it could be that. I've got 2 of them. So yeah, that's that. Got a very dead looking hanging basket. And over here, that's my peach Melba rose, which is beautiful, which might also go over there. But we've also got my new fruit tree. This is an apple tickled pink. Now this is on an M9 dwarfing rootstock. So this is going to be okay in a pot. I'm going to have to get a bigger pot than that. That's just, it came as a bare root and the ground was frozen at the time it came. So it's gone in that pot just for now. And then behind it you've got this beautiful white standard rose, which needs to go in a much bigger pot as well. But I will mulch it with some well-rotted manure in the meantime. That one is New Dawn, the one in the big pot. It needs a good weed and mulch. And then over this side as well, there's my brown bin. We've got another New Dawn there. It's a beautiful rose. Not necessarily overly happy in those pots, but we'll see how they go on. And that's the other Compassion. Again, needs weeding and mulching. But yeah, so this is how the borders are looking just after a little bit of tidying up. That's my Shasta, I believe, that is getting munched. I'm not very happy with the little slugs for that one. And then this is the other one that's absolutely fine. Tell you what, there's a lot of ladybirds in the garden at the moment. I've been moving them while I've been cutting things back so I don't hurt them. Yeah, and lots of asters growing back over here. They seem to have spread, and I pulled a lot out last year, so yeah, not sure. But that's the Amistad. This is another jasmine that I've got to go in the ground. I was going to put it here, but I haven't done. I might put it down there, and obviously give it some support. Yeah, look. And yeah, I've got loads of antirrhinums that are still, still alive. But I've just given things a rough cut back. My little tiny ace are there coming back. And yeah, this one over here. You can see the amount of sort of dead wood they have. Now my neighbours have an acer that survives every year, so I'm hoping it does. Also, I want to apologise for the sound quality on my videos at the moment. I've upgraded my phone recently, and unfortunately my nice, quite expensive microphone that I got doesn't fit this one because the port is different, so I'm a bit miffed about that. So I'm gonna have to buy a new microphone, and it's £100, and I would rather spend that on plants if I've got that to spare. So yeah, but yeah, beautiful day. Lady of the Lake Rose is coming back now once again. Forgot to prune it because it's a rambler. You prune it after it flowers, but you know, it is looking lovely. I'm gonna have to try and tie it into the trellis this year. But this year seems to be the year of the climbers, but I don't have a clematis, so I would really like to get myself a clematis. So yeah, tell you what, it's so lovely to get in the garden again. Right, let's get the kettle on. Just spilt this everywhere. Now, I've been to the garden centre today. I actually went for a coffee with a friend, but we couldn't resist having a look around, and so I did pick some things up. Now, I have already bought potatoes, but I got them from B&M, and I'll be honest with you, they're about this big. I think, I can't remember the variety. I think they might be Swift. They might not be Swift though, but they're not Charlotte, which is what I actually wanted. Now my parents have got some, and they'll probably have some spare, but I just decided, you know what, you've got an allotment, you need a few more than just your parents' spares. So I have bought this. Now I read Charlotte and bought it. Didn't actually realise that it is a salad potato collection. Now I don't mind, because actually it's Nicola and Maris Pia as well as Charlotte, and I like those two as well. So we've got a better amount. They've already started to sprout though, so I'm going to get those chitting. Now the reason I tend to chit my potatoes is because I like to get them early enough so that I can get the variety I want. And if you store them in the dark, they're going to do what these have done, produce long chits that are going to be weak. And I prefer to put them on a windowsill. Now what does happen in my house is that my youngest daughter throws them about the house saying potato. So if they've got long chits, they're going to lose them. The shorter, robust ones seem to be able to tolerate her, but those ones, the long ones, will not. So yeah, got those. Now, when I was at B&M a few weeks ago, I also bought some garlic, and this is Eden Rose. It's a spring garlic. I haven't done anything with that yet. And I also picked up some onion sets, because they were 3 for a £5, potatoes and onion sets. Now, I've never grown onions from sets before. So I've got these Red Baron, which I have grown from seed before, and I've got Stuttgarter. So those are what I've got. I'm going to be doing those. I'll do something with those soon, I promise. Now today, back to today, I picked up some rhubarb, because I don't have any rhubarb on the plot, and I got this on Valentine, and it's already sprouting in the back. Now I have a place for this. It's where the rhubarb used to be, that I dug up because I didn't want it there. Don't ask. Actually, it could actually go elsewhere. We'll see. I think I know where I want it. I might put it somewhere else, not sure. Now, a couple of videos ago, I said I wasn't going to be growing much from seed this year, and then literally like the day after, I get a message from Ali at My Rusty Garden asking me if I wanted tomato seeds. And you know, I am not one to refuse a tomato, so I said yes, and she sent me some, and I will talk about the varieties she sent me when I do my tomato sowing. So thank you, Ali. If you're not familiar with Ali, check out her channel. She is absolutely lovely, and she is such a great supporter of other channels. I'm just kicking everything all over the floor here. She is such a really great supporter of other channels, and yeah, so go out and check her channel out. You will not be disappointed. So I have got some things to grow from seed, and I am going to still grow for things from seed, because there are things I won't be able to get in shops, varieties I won't be able to get, and courgettes. Now I will be able to get them, but I want the variety I want, and these are zucchini. I had a lot of success with this variety last year, and my parents want some as well, so I'm going to be growing a few extra. There's 20 seeds in there. That is more than I need, so I will be sowing some for my parents as well, or giving them seeds. And then next is something I've never grown before, but I love delphiniums, and these are similar. This is Larkspur Giant Imperial Mix, and they look lovely, and I am really going full throttle for this cottage garden this year, and I think that is an absolute perfect cottage garden. It's a hardy annual, and you can sow it direct. I will look into what I want to do with these. I'm not sure about sowing direct. I'll look into that. I also have numerous other things I'm going to be growing from seed, and I'm going to be growing some cottage garden hardy perennials as well this year from seed. I've actually got some Erigeron Carvinsciensis seeds, which is Mexican fleabane. I've got it growing at the side of the pond, and it's doing so well that I really want to put some as ground cover in the borders, and I also want to sow some in the cracks. I've got a tarmac drive, and there are cracks, and I get dandelions and all sorts of things growing in there, and I've managed to get aqualesias coming back year after year in there. I've got a couple of large sedums which have been here longer than me, and yeah, I wouldn't mind getting some Erigeron in there, because it'll look lovely, the bees will love it, and it will keep the other things like dandelions from growing, and hopefully it won't cause as much damage to the paving as to the tarmac itself as some of the other bigger rooted plants will. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. I've got some Verbena bonariensis seeds, but I'm not doing things like, I'm not sowing my own sweet peas this year, because I got the bought ones. I bought the seeds, sowed the seeds, they did okay, but then I got some from B&M and they were brilliant. So I think, and I see them every year at B&M, so I think I'm going to do that. I am going to get some scabious seeds, because I love scabious, and I'd like to grow some in pots here in the garden, in the cottage garden section, because scabious are a lovely plant. And yeah, so I am going to be actually sowing quite a lot of seeds, but I haven't started yet. I haven't sown anything yet. I haven't really done much. I haven't really been to the allotment very much, but I am hoping to go this week. And I did tell you that the next time you saw me I would be at the allotment, but there was so much to do in the garden at home, and the weather's been so lovely that I just wanted to do a bit of work here, and I'll show you what I was getting up to. So yeah, I'm very happy. What a difference a bit of sunshine makes, eh? Such a difference. I've just got a few more minutes before I need to go pick the kids up from school, So I'm going to enjoy my cup of tea in the greenhouse, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for being with me today. Bye for now.